I actually thought we were
Thank
there.
you. No, thank you. Dr. Eda, kindly, sorry, start reading it for us.
Okay, the head is the tail. An organization is in many ways like a human being. All the members of the organization are like human body parts. The hands, the legs, the eyes. All these parts must work in harmony in order for the individual to achieve the personal mission and become a success. An organization must therefore work like a single unit. If a department starts seeing itself as an independent and not part of the whole, deviating from the overall mission or feeling more important than other departments, then survival of the organization becomes a matter of chance and success is not a possibility. If a leader starts feeling that he or she is more important than the members and that the latter's views and feelings are inconsequential, the organization cannot go far. All problems with any organization is blamable on the leadership. Your purpose in life is to find your purpose and to give your whole heart and soul to it, Buddha. How to pick a mission for your orchestra.
Okay, let me continue reading from there. Thank you. In most cases, it happens that the founder chooses a type to venture that he or she wants to be involved in. For business organizations, a true entrepreneur will not just think of the available opportunity and jump in. No, he or she will think in terms of his or her ability, skill level required, and passion among other numerous things. It is helpful to be involved in a type of enterprise that is in line with your mission on earth. If you pick, for example, a business that deals with software development simply because you know of someone making a great deal of money in it while your area of natural capability is food and beverages, you are missing the direction. Perhaps this explains even why many people claim that there are no jobs. Entrepreneurship is one of the noblest and most challenging callings you can pick in life. Therefore, before you venture into entrepreneurship, the line of business you choose will be very crucial in determining if your enterprise is going to succeed or not. It determines whether your venture will survive the first 3 to 5 years or it will sink. Note that in most of those early years of your enterprise, you will probably be working for free. If it is not something you will be willing to do for free, you will possibly quit. That is why some people start businesses every time and quit as soon as they start. An enterprise whose sole mission is to make money will soon collapse. For an organization, at the onset, the spirit of the founder becomes the spirit of the organization. I advise that his or her mission should be the mission of the organization. In other words, it is like he or she is trading using the said business or company name. It means that you must pick the mission of the business to be very closely related to or exactly the same as your own mission. That is because your organization, in a way, is going to further your mission, at least for the formative years. You will then know if it is working, or you will then know it is working if you're able to get customers and partners along the way. It is the mission that should attract people to you and your organization. That is how powerful a mission can and should be. For any other form of an organization, the conviction of the leader or leaders, in this case, the founders, about the mission of that very organization will determine how long it will last. If you set out, for example, to eradicate jiggers in a locality, let that be your mission. Let any other personal benefit come by itself, but not because you pursued it. Let it be as a byproduct. I have seen many CBOs and NGOs go under because of this misrouted mission. If you form an orchestra to provide entertainment for a university, for example, let it not be a gain for hire outside. because soon that becomes the major activity and you end up losing focus. There's nothing wrong with being hired for money, only that it will most certainly derail the orchestra from the initial mission. And and that's and that is where your leadership comes in. With a clear vision and mission, even decision making becomes a very easy and critical becomes very easy, and critical decisions will not warrant long boardroom lobbying. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you so much. So, guys, I remember last time I left out with a note to ponder on, and sorry, I got distracted. And my last statement was that some people die at 18 and they're buried at 75. I've been thinking about that whole thing, like this whole week I've been thinking about that, because we do not know our purpose and our calling on earth. The moment you come to realize what you're created to live for, that is what you are going to live for. Like that is what you stand for. I love the way the opening, when we started reading, I love the way um OPP opens and says that an organization is in many ways like a human being. And even the church is like that. You see, everywhere we go is like that. We are created to form to perform like a human being. So the leg cannot tell the hands, I do most of the work, I'm more important. You see, neither can the hand say, I am always picking things, I'm always doing this, I am more important um than the ears. And the ears too cannot say that I am more important than the eyes. You see, at the end of the day, each one of us are created to do that which you are created to do. Even the nail, even the most tiniest, most insignificant thing that it's just thinking, does this thing exist? Goodness, they are created to do a certain thing. Think about this COVID time. This COVID time, you realize that the most insignificant, the people that people look at as the most insignificant in the offices or out here, my goodness, were the most effective people during this time of COVID. So I just want you to ask yourself one thing. Are you looking at yourself as a finger? Or are you looking at yourself as a minute, insignificant person? Because, guys, there is no insignificant person. Each one of us has been created for that particular purpose. We have a particular calling, and that thing that you are created for, trust you me, is of beneficial in an organization. Think about if for a whole 2 weeks, the cleaner of your office did not show up. um, or the guys who collect garbage from the toilet, like in the toilet bins, they never showed up for 2 weeks. That is when you're going to realize, my goodness, these people are, in fact, almost the most important people in this organization, because the place is going to be so unbearable. So before I continue, Otieno Paul Peter, kindly tell us, when you're writing this particular script in this book, what were you thinking? What was going in your mind? What motivated you to write it?
Uh, you see, my biggest desire and personal mission is to equip and inspire people to live their dreams. And I realize that most people have no idea about what really will bring them accomplishment. And that's why last week we were talking about how I define success, picking from Maxwell's definition of success, where you identify your purpose in life, you grow to your maximum potential in that particular purpose, and then you sow seeds that would benefit others. You see, it's not just about you, it's about other people. Even your service, growing to your max, means you are offering some service for which you were born. And now, looking at this section where we are talking about the head is the tail and mission for a business, you realize that people set up businesses and their sole consideration is how much am I going to earn? You see, and most times, like us in Kenya, we get business presentation in terms of if you put this, you get this. You get you meet these statements about farming. You take maybe 3 acres in Narok. You put ngano in. It costs you this much in 3 months or in 6 months. You get this much, and people rush to it. Afterwards, they collapse. They've lost money, and people keep losing money again and again. You'll realize the other day, I've been running some mentorship in Kajiado, meeting business people and working together with them. And uh, the business, the survey that the client did, the Equity Bank did before and recorded whatever the businesses they recorded for them, that so and so is probably running a restaurant, this one running a transport business. If you go there, you realize that 99% they are not doing that particular business. And whatever was recorded, they've changed like 2 3 times. Why? Because they pick a business based on how much return can I get. They pick a business based on what a friend said. They pick a business based on whom some other relative whom they see doing well in it. People do not choose things depending on what is in their heart. What service do they want to offer to the society to grow to their marks and sow seeds that will always benefit others? It's a big deal. It's a big problem. That's why most people don't live full. They are always grumbling. They are always finding life difficult. They push themselves to do things they do not want to do. They don't have fun doing what they are supposed to do. And that's why we were talking about sport. It's not their sport. They are doing it for money. And even if you are working somewhere, you are employed somewhere, but your only relationship with that particular task is money, you are not having any fulfillment, any fun, you're not feeling like you're accomplishing something, you're going to collapse. You're not going to be fulfilled. You will quit. You will somewhat feel like it's not worth it. Why? It's been realized by research, money can never be a motivation enough. If we are pursuing something just because of money, it won't work, it won't last. We must find a higher meaning, a bigger meaning, a more important meaning beyond the money. Money becomes the byproduct. And so in choosing an enterprise, we've got to be people who are choosing what is it that is going to resonate with my heart. What is it that whenever I'm doing it, I'm going to feel like I'm really uh, being of service to the community. And in this case, by so doing, we are going to be a people who are living fully. We are going to be feeling even healthier, feeling more satisfied. In fact, it said it might not matter how much money we're earning, because the first earning that we're getting is the money, is the opportunity to be able to participate in that particular task, in that particular labor. And by the way, that is what makes us more creative, because passion begets creativity. And there is nothing much we can do if we are not passionate, if we are not creative. And we cannot be passionate or creative if we are pursuing a cause that does not rhyme with our hearts. So that was the idea in my mind. We've got, if every individual we're meeting on earth today was able to get his or her particular mission, the predetermined mission, whatever we were equipped to do, then the world would be much, much better. We would be meeting much more happier people. This heartbreaking and all the emotional problems, all the mental issues would come to an end, by the way, because we will all be fulfilled. Our work will be much more therapeutic. And so each one of us, it's important that we individually identify that for which we were called to do. And even if we are setting up organizations, they should be related to that. The other day, I think yesterday, but when I was discussing this with another friend of mine, and uh, looking at it, we realize that in most cases, people do not want to think beyond the selfish gain. They keep thinking with respect to what is in it for me. What is in it for me? If we give service for the good of giving it, and because we feel satisfied giving it, then things are going to be much, much better. Thank you.
Okay. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. As you've been speaking, I've just been, I've remembered on Facebook, you'll get these questions. People are asking, which is the most marketable course? Or my sister got a C plane, or my child got this grade. Which course do you guys think she will do? And everything, a course that is marketable. And so I'm just thinking, I mean, kitambo kidogo, our parents used to think in terms of teaching, medicine, and they will be like, if you do these courses, these are prestigious courses, and you'll not miss a job or an opportunity and everything. And then now you will see, even right now, there are people in the medical fraternity who are so, like, who are not in their thing. You see me? They're just there for money. They are not there because that is their calling. But there are people who will look at and genuinely, for example, for example, Dr. Wahome Ngare, like, this man is in his thing. You see, this is what God created him to do. You look at him and you're like, man, he is doing what he is supposed to be doing. I remember some time back, and I was telling you guys, when I went somewhere and someone was telling me that I was created to be a doctor. I looked at this person and I'm just thinking, are you well? Are you thinking okay? So as OBP has said, the motivation cannot be money. If money is the motivation behind whatever you're doing right now, then definitely you are not going anywhere with it. You'll realize there are very many people who are so desperate, who are even depressed in jobs, not because they love this job, not because it is what they want to do, but because of the money they're getting there, because the money they get there can fuel the lifestyle that they want to live. Okay, so Dr. Eda, to you.
Yeah, I really like this topic, and what you opened up with in some people die at 18 and are buried at 75. That is called the nihilistic attitude, where nothing has any meaning. And I think I went through that in my late teens. Life didn't have any meaning for me, and I got into some kind of depression, and I thought that my life was completely worthless, and my contribution to society was not going to be of any account. So that's very true. It's a very sad state of affairs that many young people today are not seeing, either from their upbringing or their lack of identity. There's something called there's an epidemic of identity crisis. People do not know who they are. They don't feel that their contribution is anything. This is why you're having so much suicide in young people. And I met this young girl walking with her mother, and the mother said, she has done, like you said, she's gotten C+, and we're thinking of taking her to nursing. So I told them, you know what, if you really think you want to do nursing, it has to be a calling. So if you, I suggested that they go and look for a hospital and volunteer for at least a week in the casualty department. See all that blood, see all that death, see all those body secretions and all the trauma, And if she still wants to do it after 1 week, then she was called to be a nurse. This is what young people are not getting: career guidance. The parents are deciding for them what they should do, and it's very sad. The child, you should be looking at the child. In other countries, they look at the child. I think most people who are in medicine and nursing in Kenya, many of them, if they had done a psychological test, they would have been eliminated long before the course. So yeah, what you're saying, your career and your enterprise should definitely be according to your calling. And I totally agree with that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Melvin Blima, kindly share with us your pickup for today.
Yeah, I like Otieno Paul Peter's take on thriving in your purpose, and many of us flounder around trying to find that purpose. And as Eda said, many of us join certain careers and certain professions because we are urged by our families and society to pursue those as a means towards an end, the end being fulfillment. And and if you don't follow the stirrings of your heart and your passion, you will end up very frustrated. And as Otieno Paul Peter said, when you see people doing very well in a certain field, and you decide to pursue that, you may come to grief if that is not where your passion lies. So this is a timely discussion, and one which is the cause, as Eda said, of much depression and unmet expectations in life. So you are born at 18 and you die at 70 or 75.
No, you die at 18 and you're buried at 75.
Okay, that's right. I shall remember that for the rest of my life. Thank you, Eda. So that's what I had to say.
Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Maurice Omondi, I'd love to hear your pickup on this.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the discussion is very timely. Right from the title of the discussion, the head is like the tail, in the sense that an organization has to be holistic. The only area which I want to, like, can I say, throw a spanner into the discussion is that many times the challenge is put on leadership. In fact, at the end of that line, there is say that all problems with any organization is blamable on leadership. In my own experience, you go into an organization, especially where you are, let me say you are employed, so you find other people inside there, and there's a lot of expectation of you as a leader, but you also find people inside there. And, people have different motivations, people have different backgrounds, they have different interests. And as a leader, you are trying to live the mission of the organization, you are trying to inspire the people around you, but there are people who keep on pulling different direction. Maybe they are not sharing in your vision. So at the end of the day, when there is failure, the blame is on the leader, but there are also other people who are to blame. So I wanted to bring in the perspective that leadership is not just the person who is leading, but also the people who are there, in the sense that they also need to develop that a sense of self-leadership, that you not only rely on the person who is ahead, but even you as a follower, you have to develop some of the traits of leadership. I don't know if I'm communicating, in the sense that even when you see ants, which are being viewed as one of the animals, or rather some of the organisms which are very united, they will follow a particular line. There'll be the ant which is ahead of them, but then the others will also be following, but there is some level of cooperation. So even in the orchestra, and this is such a beautiful book because, of course, there's a conductor who is conducting everybody, but every person inside that orchestra has a self of responsibility to some extent, has a sense of personal leadership. So I guess this discussion goes beyond the person who is leading and also even the people who are being led, that find your mission. And if maybe you are employed somewhere, you don't have, I don't know what Paul Peter will say, you will be employed somewhere else, and you, maybe that was maybe not your mission itself, but how do you reconcile your personal ambition, etc., and merge it with the ambition of somebody else? How do you go inside there and use these techniques that we have been taught today to align to that organization and enable it to succeed? So how do you align your mission, or rather your desires, with where you have found yourself? Maybe that is employment that you have gotten. So first of all is to agree with all discussion that you need to align whatever you're doing with your personal mission, but also just throwing the spanner into this discussion. How do you, when you are not the person who started the organization, you have found yourself inside there, how do you immerse yourself and get inside there? And if you're the leader, how do you ensure that these people who have come in and they have got different backgrounds, how do you ensure that they fit into your vision when they have different personalities? So that's my contribution and also a question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Before Otieno Paul Peter answers that, when we started the book, I remember we said that leadership starts by you. You see, you are your first leader first. You cannot lead people if you can't lead yourself. You can't lead even your family if you can't lead yourself. So definitely when you go to any organization, you should know that the leadership, first of all, is you. Lead yourself first of all. And then when you go there, then you're also not going to be giving your leader a hard time. For example, simple things like keeping time, just simple things like being tidy, simple things like adhering to the mission and the vision of the organization. Okay, so let me give you an example with the question that you have asked. I'm a pro-lifer. That means that I defend life from conception to natural death. Okay, so I'm a pro-lifer. I am pro-God, you see. So personally, there are jobs that can be advertised that there are jobs that can be advertised. The organizations that can advertise job opportunities that I will not even apply for. Why? Because my mission and my vision in life does not agree with their mission and their vision. For example, there is the biggest abortion offering body in Kenya. Even if they advertise whichever job and I know that I am qualified, like even when I close my eyes, I know if I applied for this job, I will get it. I can't apply for that job. Why? Because it is against me as a person. It is against my beliefs. It is against what I stand for. So first of all, before you go to any organization, study them, learn their mission, learn their vision, know about them, do your research, do your due diligence, and then ask yourself, then how can I plug in this organization? How can my vision and my mission in life, in whatever I do, how can it then be of beneficial to this organization that I'm applying this job for? If they take me in, then what am I going to do? How am I going to serve them? So mimi, nikipelekwa kwa hiyo organization, like I will be looking at the ladies who have come to have abortions, and I will sit down with them and counsel them, and I will even start a crisis pregnancy center there. Why? Because that is me. That is my mission in life. That is part of my vision. You see, that is a value that I have in life. I value human life. So I will not let these young girls or these women go have abortions. Power Monday, Otieno Paul Peter, kindly contribute on that.
I want to confirm, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
But with a soprano.
So it doesn't come out clear?
Well, it's coming out clear just with the soprano. Just go on.
Okay, is that better?
Thank you, better. Now
Okay.
that's you.
Then something happened. Good. Thank you very much, Maurice, for that. It's good to also indicate before we move ahead that we are going to deal with teams along the way in the book, and we will be able to discuss this that particular question more exhaustively at some point. But just as Noel has said, let me pick from where Dr. Eda started, that she lost enthusiasm in life at some point. The same applies to me. You see, at around age 13, 14, when I was in class 7, thereabout, I was asking myself, why do I have to live? Yeah, if life, because I did not like waking up early. I still don't. But then I had to wake up early, go to class, come back. Then I was told in secondary school, it's the same. You wake up. Thankfully, I did not go to any boarding school. Probably that's part of the reason. Yeah, I understand people are waking up at 4, 5, or even earlier. At one point, we went for an exchange program. I went to Agorosari for one night only. I cast that day, I still cast it to date, that they forced me to read up to, I think, 11 something. And then somebody comes to wake you up, I think around 3 or 4. I don't like that idea. And I was imagining, is this the way life should be? And I was told that, you see, at least when you are in school, there are holidays. That after school, now you get to job and it's all the days. Yeah. And then you are given some few days in a year, maybe 21 days, whatever. And I felt like I really do not want to be that type of prisoner. And I was wondering, why do people work? Do they just work to go eat? And in fact, if I had grown with that mentality, I wouldn't have been the person I am today, because there was no enthusiasm, there was no motivation at all. But then in class 8, towards the end, when I was seeing people repeating, yet they passed. And I was wondering, I started questioning myself and interrogating nature. How come some people are more successful? How come some people live in bliss and abundance, others don't have? How come we don't have? Are we the children of lesser gods? Is this God, does he treat people fairly? Does he give equally, or where do we go wrong? And that became my mission. I wanted to find out what makes people different, achieve differently, because I believe that if God is love, then he must be love for everybody. Then we must be the people, there must be something that we don't understand. So I wanted to understand that and share it with people. And I found the mission that I wanted to live for. And so to date, I live to equip and inspire. I seek knowledge, I seek the truth, and I give it, I share it as it is, if somebody's life can change. So I believe I'm trying to grow to my max and sowing seeds that benefit others. Coming back to to where Maurice picked it, all problems are blamable on the leader. There are no doubts about that, no debates, because the leader determines. If I am leading an orchestra, this orchestra, like we've given an example of, this is a university band. It is for the entertainment of the university. I am recruiting people. I should be recruiting people whose mission, or who are going to fit into the mission of this organization. Somebody's mission is to be the best guitarist. I am going to pick this best guitarist to be amongst my guitarists in the orchestra. So he is pursuing his mission in the big mission of, we are going to produce the best music. I'm going to pick a good vocalist, a good oboist, a good uh, violinist, because it is their passion to become the best, to produce good music using their instruments. And so they fit in, and each will be disciplined, each will be working hard towards becoming their best, as we work towards making the best orchestra. And so I will not pick somebody who wanted to be a doctor, some other doctor who wants to, his mission or her mission is to become the best doctor, but not really interested in music, But because this was the opportunity available and he applied, and so we pick him and put him there. This person is not the type that should fit in here. So that is part of what we need to check. And the other thing is, if I am, say, I am an accountant, which organization, and this one I always talk to people when I'm giving career talks, I ask people, choose exactly where you want to work. It is not that you are applying and applying to every organization. I want to be an accountant, just like now Noel was saying. You are an accountant, but now you are working for an organization that pursues a mission you do not want. If you want to be an accountant and you want to be the best accountant, you also need to plug into an organization that is pursuing the mission that you want to achieve, the mission that you can relate with. And so when you are working on their books, you're working on their books to make that organization strongest with respect to records, with respect to your domain. You are working to build the same unit. Let me give you an example with Rotary. I am in Rotary Club of Milimani, and I have a friend called Jane Beria. She's now located in Nigeria. Now, Jane was telling me that when she was the president of the organization, she chose to, because she's an accountant, she's a CPAK and has done all sorts of courses with respect to finance. She chose to make the books the strongest. Why? The organization needs to be strong in accounts so that it's able to achieve the mission. And so each and every one of us, when we are going to plug into some system, we should plug in bringing our best to achieve the best. Now, here is the other thing. Most people keep thinking that opportunities are scarce. Opportunities are never scarce. It's only that we are looking for wrong opportunities. If we become our best, we will always get the best places because we'll even be headhunted. So your statement was you find yourself. You cannot find yourself. You take yourself there. You apply, you contest, you go for interview, you prove that you want that job, that you can do it and things like that. So let's be in charge. Let me give you another example. When I got out of college and I loved IT, I was going to, I applied to go and train IT in Westland Symphony with IAT. And they asked me, where would you like to work? Would you like to be in Nairobi, Mombasa, wherever? And you know, that is a question that most people say, anywhere. Why? You do not know whether there is job in Nairobi. I'm flexible. I told them I can only work in Nairobi and nowhere else. Why? I wanted to be where I wanted to live, and I wanted to also live with my family. The same thing happened when I changed jobs like 2 years later, working in the Africa Online. They asked me, how flexible are you? Would you like to work in Mombasa? They had a branch there. I said, no, no, no. I can only work in Nairobi. Opportunities are never scarce. We must set in our minds exactly what we want. I want to work with an ISP. I got it. I did not even know which ISPs were there. I chose to be in IT, and I found I got that. So if you get early this year, we started by that element of setting goals and getting to know what exactly we want. And now that should be able to relate to our mission. And I believe even in the next chapter, we'll be discussing a bit about how to manage that. So to this extent, I want to stop it there. If there are, because I know there are two people probably who've not spoken, then we can close. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chris Moindi, are you at a place where you can talk? Trofinjiro, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. I'd love to hear your takeout today.
Thank you. I loved the discussion, and I was going to agree with Ed about the intentionality of parents on nurturing their children, because we've come from an era where there was almost one lane on what to do in life. You are told, go to school, make sure you get number one or the highest score that you can get. After you're done, get your brown papers, go tarmac, with your CV, deliver them to as many offices as you possibly can, get a job. But like many of us are concurring here today, after you get, it was kind of a blind throw in the darkness for most people, or for those parents who directed their children to go to a certain career because they preferred it. And then later on in life, at 30, at 40, at even 50, you discover how miserable you are with what you're doing in life. And then you begin, discovering yourself, unfortunately too late, on what you truly, truly enjoy doing. And maybe my point would be the need for intentional parents to observe their children from a young age and nurture that which they see, the skill in them, and understanding who they truly are, so that unfortunately you do not have to, the example that was given of parents suggesting for their children what they think they should do once they're done, or once they get the C+ or whatever it is, the grade that they want, that the parents do not have to determine what the children want for them. Rather, they should be a guide and nurturers of the dreams and the creativity and the ability that God has put in those children. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Eda, for reminding me. I had not forgotten, but I was just, I'm gambling with time here. As Njiru has spoken, I'm reminded of a certain young musician. I think she released her song either on Saturday or on Friday. I'm not sure any of you here knows her, but her name is Nikita. Nikita Kereng is a Kenyan, and she was on Jeff Koinange Live when she was 9 years old. And the mother was interviewed, and the mother said that she noted the daughter had a gifting at 3 years. So the young girl has been singing from when she was 3 years old. And at 9, I remember in an interview, the mother saying that because she noted the daughter loves singing, the daughter will be a musician. You see, she just said, I am going to do anything. I'm going to spend money and do whatever I have to do for my daughter to nurture her gifting and be a musician. Let me tell you, this girl is 19. She'll be 19 years old this year, and she has already released her songs, not just one, several songs. And I kid you not, look at that young girl. She is going places with her gifting. You see, the mother, the parents never thought of, oh, we want our child to do medicine, we want her to be a lawyer, etc., etc. But they looked at her, saw the gifting, and then they decided to nurture the gifting and bring up the gifting for the girl to be in her domain. You get me? So Chris Moindi, before Dr. Eda, I don't know, but I think I might share with us intensively next week. Today I'll just mention them. And then guys,
Okay.
you'll please just give me 4 minutes. By 8:20 we will be done. I promise. Chris?
Okay, good morning, guys. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so it has been a good meeting. I'm learning a lot. I'm at work.
Okay.
So I just give some few contribution on what I've learned and everything.
Let's do
So,
haraka.
according to you all, I've learned a lot from Peter's talk and also Dr. Eda that we should not follow the money. Actually, that's what young people are being taught. Follow the money. This is where the money is. Lawyer, being a doctor, and everything. Well, on my side, I've met my late dad was a doctor, and I saw very many of his friends, very old. They are 50, 60. They are not fulfilled in their profession. So I would, for my take, I would say let's follow what, according to what each and everyone has said, what drives us and what are our interests and what is the mission. For me, on my side, I'll say I'm very pro-life. Actually, I'm I'm a certified and natural family planning instructor with my wife. So we are working towards the parish where we are working towards helping couples get out of these poisons, I don't know, they call them contraceptives and also these chemicals. And actually, in my question, I've also always wondered, how do you plan a family using chemicals? So that's one thing we are doing with my wife, and I think that's our calling, and soon enough we'll be venturing into it in full time, with my wife and I in full time. So thank you guys for all those inspiring words. Actually, you have learned a lot, and continue with the good work, Dr. Eda and also Otieno Paul and also everyone who is involved in this. So that's my
Okay.
take.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So guys, as I promised, let me fulfill part of my promise. I'll go deeper into whatever I'm going to tell you maybe next week or something. So last week, I promised you that I'm going to tell us the different nations of calling. And the nations of calling are derived from the Bible. You see, when the children of Israel were entering into the promised land, and even for us, the promised land is a typification of your purpose. You see, they're the nations that they were supposed to go and conquer. And so you'll realize that these nations are the different nations of calling, or the mountains of calling, or some people call them spheres of calling. So everyone falls somewhere. You see, they have been grouped into 7, and you'll realize in these 7 groupings, in these 7 spheres of calling, everyone is either in 1 or in 2 or whatever it is, but there's the major one. So there's the nation of industry, commerce, and finance, or the mountain of industry, commerce, and finance. And then there's the nation of government and military. The nation of government and military is what people have perverted to call politics, but in real sense, God has not called anyone to be a politician. It is to serve in the government. And then there's the nation of life givers, or the nation of life givers is inclusive of the people in church, the 5 folders, and then the doctors and nurses, and then those who are in health ministry. And then there's the nation of family, or the family institution. And then there's the nation of arts, media, and entertainment. And then there's the nation of science, technology, and education, and the nation of sports. Kindly do this for me. If you want more notes on the same, I will be posting my number there. I'll be posting my number on the chat. What you can do, you can just maybe drop me a WhatsApp, and then I will send you 34, 38. And then I will send you more notes on the same, on the nations of calling. You'll realize that everyone on earth falls under one of these or 2 of these. You look at it and you'll be like, maybe I fall. Like personally, I know I fall on life givers. I fall in the nation of arts, media, and entertainment. And I also fall on the nation of industry, commerce, and finance. So I will be telling you guys more on that next week, because time has long gone. I have 7 minutes of your time.